Namaste everyone.
Pratnamami tamazaf param arkavarnam Purnam zanatanapadam purushottamākyam yasminnidam jagadadesham aseshamurto Rajvam bhujangamagima pratibhasitam vai Rajvam bhujangamagima pratibhasitam vai. Early in the morning, I prostrate to the timeless Supreme Purusha. That infinite Supreme Reality shines like the sun and transcends darkness of ignorance. It alone manifests in all. The entire universe appears on the substratum of that reality like a serpent appearing on a rope.
Thank you. Any questions or doubts about anything? pure mind which we attain by constant remembrance of the truth. Is nothing but that which we praise, that which we have given sometimes a name and a form. This whole process is to manifest that absolute in that individual body and mind complex. This all is act of grace, nothing but grace. Sometimes one glimpse of this pure self makes us a spiritual seeker and ends our journey in that. When we say all is an act of grace, we have some reverence, respect for that energy. Not some, but immense. When this respect is immense, we call it devotion, bhakti. And that also helps us to surrender more of this ego sense. I was talking to a neuroscientist yesterday, and he said to me that whatever you call this grace or God or Atman, No need to be of any devotion to anything. They are all chemicals. And I can explain everything on the basis of brain and chemicals. Probably someone can definitely explain whatever can be explained by chemicals. But then is he established in that? Then what is the purpose? Explanation can be done from quantum physics, from chemistry, from science. But yes, this all is at the level of intellect. But are you free forever? To keep arguing, people can say, I am happy the way I am in this ego, and I am happy with my relative knowledge. So there is no conflict if someone wants to be at that level. And actually, there are no levels, it is only ignorance and reality. These eyes, when they see around things, beings, situations, and think that is the only truth, then we are always in ignorance. But with grace, when we get eyes of wisdom, we understand reality not in any form of a concept or a theory, but we have constant experience in our inner core. Now you want to bring it to the table to a scientist or a researcher. You know, the only problem is scientist has no devotion. And without devotion, where would you surrender your ego? And without surrender, you can't enter into that kingdom. And these terms like devotion, grace, surrender, God, this is the language of a devotee, of a bhakta. It's a big leap, big step for a scientist because with so-called own efforts, he has come to some concept and theory. Now, how he or she can give it to some unknown entity which he has no clue, all his personal accomplishments. Here is the conflict. And this conflict will stay. This conflict can only go away again when there is grace from within. That substratum on which all this play is happening is in truth we all are. We are that substratum, and from there we sprung into mind and doing all these activities. All our relative knowledge, our abilities also comes from that substratum. Even in ego mode, we are the same energy, same source. That source is not in any conflict. That Brahman in us knows reality, is reality. Then who are we who are ignorant? We are only a thought. We are only one thought away from reality. We are living in an I thought. It's a bubble. It is fake. But this fake reality can continue indefinitely. If we don't check it, we don't question it. We don't go within. So I said to that scientist to practice who am I, to know the reality. Straight away he said to me, he is not a spiritual seeker and he has no interest in knowing it. And this is the thing, when someone has no interest, it will never happen. It is only a matter of longing, intense longing. There is big difference between no interest and intense longing. One criteria which all Vedanta says is mumukshutva, intense longing. Other things are important, but most important is your intense longing. This intense longing brings dispassion for other things, vairagya, which they say is important. And vivek. Vivek comes with grace, discriminatory power. And then there are some qualities: purity of mind, speaking truth, non stealing, not accumulating, brahmacharya. All these comes when the ego is strong. Then it does not want anyone else to be higher than us. And that creates dictators. Those people take roles in authority as authority. Even in our family, we can take up that role full of ego. So, believing in higher power, I'm saying believing because if you have no experience, you only have to have faith and believe. But if you believe, you have some place to surrender ego sense. And when we surrender, we become that. Because it is changing from where we act. Calling that pure energy in our heart as Lord or God, paying respect to it, praising it. All these acts of devotion melts away our ego and makes us what we really are. And in this making, we are not adding anything new. We are only getting rid of what we are not. It's an act of losing, not gaining. when you lose those covers of unreality which are obscuring the vision, then what is there within is discovered by us. Discovery of truth, unraveling the truth, occurs when we stop acting from I thought. You start observing this ego sense. Your pure observing is enough to finish it. This observing should be constant all the time. When it becomes so intense that even in dream you are observing, because mind is active in dream and takes a form, ego persists, but awareness persists all the time. With constant practice, more or less we stay as observer most of the time. And when we slip into the ego mode due to old habits or the situation, we can't bear the suffering of that separation. And naturally we move back into the self. Then we realize it was self-created suffering in past. But sometimes we need someone who is outside this suffering to tell us that it is suffering. When we have belief in that person, then we look into it and we realize, yes, this is not a good place. We should move out of it. The one who is addicted to something, whether any substance or an act, is addicted because he thinks it is giving pleasure, it is good. Therapist or healer tells to get out and helps. But if someone is not interested in any help and feels it's all good here, I'm enjoying, then nobody can help. Ego gives its own type of happiness, which we are addicted to. There is a picture on cover page of Bhagavad Gita explained by Swami Ram Sukhdas ji. If you see that picture, in this picture everyone is drowning and he is picking up by giving his hand, Krishna, to bring them on the boat. It is a very scary picture. And who are drowning? All the worldly people are drowning. But the one who thinks I am drowning is a seeker. Because people who are neck deep, but they don't feel there is something wrong, then who can help? Only the one who is asking for help can be helped. I know so many people feel Buddhism is so negative because it starts with the first line that everything is suffering. This word, samsara, is suffering. And people indulging in things right now when their body is healthy and they're enjoying all their indulgence, they cannot understand this suffering. They're enjoying their sweet poison. And their time will come when it will come. But the one who has seen the end, who has understood the whole situation, is telling you it is suffering. And the one who told it is suffering was not a beggar or a poor man who had nothing to lose and just saying for the sake of saying that it is suffering. He was the king, he was the prince, he had everything. He left everything and found that Atman within him, attained to that Buddhahood. How fast we establish in truth is how much urgency we feel. Because this feeling of urgency puts all our attention into it. All our attention is on the source. And that is what is needed. The same mind, when it is paying attention to things around, it is called ego. And when the same mind puts all energy into the source, it's called Atman, Brahman, Self. When the mind is projecting outwardly, there is doership in that mind. That is ego sense. I am doing, I am achieving, I need, I want, I hate, I like, I dislike. My story, my past, my present, my future, my family. Everything is I and my. Starts with only one I thought. Conserve your energy. Bring it all to the center, to the core, to the source, Hridayam, heart. To stay in the ego, we need a lot of things. But to establish in self, we don't need anything. Not even this body. And this is the reason so many realized beings, they live like minimalists. Supreme bliss of knowing the self needs nothing external. Nothing outside can increase this bliss, and nothing outside can decrease this bliss. Attaining inner bliss finishes all desires and wants. All desires are sign of ignorance. And desirelessness is wisdom. Abide in your pure silence. We are this silence. In silence, there can never be any thought. In silence, there is no person. No name, no form. Be one with this pure silence. This is the stillness of heart. pure, untainted witness. Residing in everyone's heart. Discover and allow it to unfold in you. Let it take over everything. You keep quiet, chumma yeru, and it manifests. It's so easy, simple, and direct. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya Om. Om Shanti Shanti.